All right, well, welcome back, boys. This is Joat in Season 2 of Empyrion Galactic Survival version 1.8. So we have a base. It is crafted things. We've got some junk in here. We've got some fuel, O2 rather, working, and some fuel working. I think we're going to go out and explore this starter moon and see what's out here. Oh, I think we've run out of fuel in our base. Let's see here. Oh, no, we have fuel. So let's head up. I think it's I think they have intentionally made it a little bit difficult to get in and out of this base, to give you the option to make it easier, or try not to make it too easy on you, I guess. Now that we're out, I'm going to grab salvage. Let's make it a little bit easier for us to get in and out. That's good for now. So here's our little ship. Hit the P button to go into the control panel. We're going to turn on our thrusters and turn on our weapons, because now we have ammo. Sure enough, it's dark outside, which is pretty cool. Hit map, M for map. We're just going to kind of fly around and see what this place has to offer. So we're going to head east. Hit 2 to choose our scanner. And see what's out there. Every time we discover something new, we're going to get some experience. Which is one of the reasons that experience generally isn't an issue. It's just easy to get. Come down here and get this one. And while we're doing this, discovering the individual nodes, carbon, and we're no longer in Talon territory. Carbon, plenty of carbon. You know what? Let's grab one. Will no longer be a faction hit. And we can show off the new drill. I'm going to turn off my thrusters to save some fuel. Let's see here. We have a drill right here. I'm going to select that. Notice that I have no charge. I'm going to activate it and reload her. Hit the F5 for our drone. And notice just how much faster this goes. Make sure we're connected, and we are. There's our carbon substrate we're currently mining. This is markedly faster than the survival tool. To be honest with you, when I go to edit this, I may or may not even cut this out, because it's going to go so quick. And that is the entire node taken. Let's see here. Turn on our thrusters and head up. We're going to keep heading east. I'm going to go ahead and I've got the Gatling gun selected, but if you notice a 0 of 3,000, I have 3,000 units of ammunition in my ammo controller. If I just try to fire, it's going to reload. And now we have weapons. Back to 2 so we can start pinging stuff. And hit the map. As you can see, we're opening up areas that were previously dark. And we're very quickly passing through biomes. So earlier when we were running the Talon missions, we needed to get to a high mountain biome or a deep water biome. As you travel with a ship, you can just easily see which biome you're in. It's much faster, much more efficient. So here's our supply bunker. We've circumnavigated the globe. Already. The wrecks in the vicinity seem very old. Go closer, but pay attention to the surroundings. Maybe we can find out what happened here. Use the survival tool in salvage mode to gather some components. We'll do some more of that here shortly. I just want to get some of these POIs and these undiscovered areas cleaned up. This was the tech ruins we just pinged and picked up when we got the message from IDA. Interesting. A technical structure on a rather rural world. Be careful when approaching or looting it. It may still be guarded. Yeah, we got a couple of bad guys. So I'm gonna... He's a runner. Make some more of them populated. Where you going, buddy? Where you going? Oh, there you are. I think there's another one running over here. Maybe he got too far away. Probably wasting too much time with it anyways. Tech ruins. Let's see what's in here. Got a raptor. Let's see here. We have a tank with some biofuel in it. That's cool. There's a bed if we were tired. Raptor meat. I think we have another damaged cyborg up here. Maybe not. It's very rarely just one or two of those guys. There's usually a few. So with this multi-tool, we can... There's definitely another cyborg. Just be careful. Some of them are damaged, but they can still shoot you. That's all right. So I'm going to go into salvage. It's giving me steel plates, glass plates, carbon substrate, deco. This is what I was referring to earlier when you can use your multi-tool or... There you are. For planning. I think what happened is that guy ran far enough away that he just respawned, but who knows. This is all steel, so if you don't want to mine, this is what I was referring to. But you don't have to. We could literally just take out this concrete, steel, and various resources, carbon substrate, computers. Instead of mining. East, I said. Now I'm heading west. Let's grab a couple of these. Small wreckage. Activator. Ruins, ruins, ruins. IDA, this tower surrounded by a field of ruins is possibly the remnant of an earlier settlement of this planet. Look around carefully. Maybe you will find something interesting, but keep an eye out on your surroundings. There could be dangerous animals here. I believe there are. I don't also believe there's anything interesting about that ruin. Well, at least not interesting enough for me to stop and go check it out. The only reason I stopped on the last one was for you guys' benefit. I'm not getting experience for these. Oh, there we go. More plantations, farms. This is the, to my left is the solar pole. Southern pole. Back into darkness, because that's what you like in a YouTube video. So I think I forgot to mark on the HUD. Whoa. How you doing? That is called a crash. Haven't had that happen in a while. Let's see what it looks like when we go back. This is a pretty rare occurrence. You'll have a couple of glitches here and there, but completely crashing is pretty rare. In fact, this is the first time it's completely crashed on me at 1.8. Where are we? So there's our scientist camp, which means the obelisk as well. I'm pretty certain this is our supply bunker. Hit the map. Yeah, 100%. So I'm going to click on the supply bunker here and right click. I'm just going to give it kind of a quasi-permanent place on the map. Stuff's acting a little wonky. I'm going to make one more pass around kind of the equator, just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so we're going to come in here and land at the supply bunker, our base for this moon. I'm going to go inside and do some organizing, make sure we have some food and some oxygen and some basic medications on us. And then... that is not the supply bunker. That's pretty awesome. Where's your stuff at, boys? There's the supply bunker. I don't know how I did that, but I did. If there's a way to mess something up, I'll do it. So what we're gonna do is land over here, make sure we have some oxygen on us, some ammo on us, some food on us, and get a little bit cleaned up. And then we're gonna go over to the obelisk, which is over there by the scientist camp. We're gonna teleport to all 4 moons just so you can see that happen. Then I'm probably gonna come back here, hop in the ship, and fly to the moons. And the reason I want to fly to the moons, or at least I want to fly to the moons, is I want to have the ship with me for storage, for whatever we pick up or gather. So I'll see you guys shortly. Well, it's been a little while for me. I've had some technical difficulties in the last episode. I had a couple of crashes, Empyrion crashes, which is pretty rare. I've had a couple of mishaps, but very rarely in the 2 or 3 years I've been playing this have I had any real hard crashes. I had one crash that left my ship on the other side of the planet, and I had to go into God mode and run over there and grab it and bring it back here. Upon that restart, the game would not populate on the proper monitor. It got a little bit frustrating, so I said, well, I'll just pause it and come back later. Then when I came back later, I had realized that my hard drive was full, so I couldn't record anymore. And I thought, well, let's get some more memory, and I did that. And then I decided to make some changes to how I'm recording the audio. So hopefully there's a significant difference in the audio that you're hearing. And hopefully I've been able to eliminate quite a few of the keystrokes and ambient noises. So let's see what we got. I stopped that recording more than a week ago. I've made a few changes, but let's see where we're at. I'm going to go into logistics and just kind of refresh myself as to what I have. I'm going to come down into the supply bunker and just drop a bunch of this junk off. Not junk, highly valuable loot. So daylight on a beautiful planet. Just free up personal inventory space. I don't really need this, but that's all right. I'm going to hit the map to take a look at our planet. We still need to go over this northern pole. Yeah, we got a bunch. So I may skip through this stuff. I may not. Turn on our thrusters. Definitely need to go east. Select 2 as the item selection. And I want to clean off the black areas on the map and make sure that I've got everything. What's the word I'm looking for? Found? Discovered? Okay, so I'm going to grab the map. We have uncovered the entire moon. No question marks on the moon. We have covered everything. Most of these are quest POIs. This is us, the settlement chief we've been to multiple times. And then the obelisk and the sciences camp. So let's fly in here. Because in a previous video we generated the key matrix, I'm going to turn off my thrusters. We now have access to this. V to go back into first person mode. And the door's open for us. Look at that. Welcome, aspirant of the Ascension. Deepen your knowledge and face your test. So the portal down here seems inactive. However, there are emissions from active teleporters coming from the top of the obelisk. We should investigate everything we find here. If we can find a way up there, this could definitely get interesting. So there's a console. All members of the expedition teams report to the responsible base commanders. Maximum alert level applies. Important, all vessels, system error. Technician has been informed. Time since message 10:05, etc., etc. So that's 10:05.25.8, which I assume is the date. We have a console with a data pad here. Damaged private data device found. Let's read it out. The key matrix opened the obelisk for us. In the lower area, there is a portal that we cannot activate. Apparently, a console and the key we got from the font of knowledge are not enough. The teleporters in the upper part of the building lead to other moons of this gas planet. The others said I should wait for the reinforcements from the academy. Ha! That's all I need. Having to share my discovery with my mother. I've got myself a suit, and I'm going to the upper teleporters. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Close. So let's do that. Wow, it's super hot wherever I was standing. Yeah, super hot there. Wow. These steps are the most awkward steps put in any game ever. Nine times out of 10, you get into a habit and then jump and fall down there. So here we have an elevator. So we have these blue, pale green, yellow, and green. These represent each of the 4 moons. This is real dicey. Like, in order to get the text, this takes us to Akua, which is where we are. This takes us to Skillen, which is the arid planet. This should be fixed. This takes us to Masmaron, the swamp planet. And this takes us to Ninges, the snow planet. So let's just see what happens. Come here, hit function, or F rather, the function button. We are teleporting. These are two-way teleporters. Joat discovered an AOPOI, the obelisk. 71 degrees. Come on down. Same template. We have a snow planet. Notice that it is negative 14 degrees. We're not quite done in here, though. All right, it looks like this is a snowed-in convoy. There's a lot of movement. You better not go there without a proper weapon. Okie dokie. Portal's not active. This is the same message we got on the last one, and we have another data pad. Read. As I expected, the teleporter worked and rematerialized me in one piece at my destination. The rooms here are identical to the one in the obelisk I came from. 4 teleporters in the upper room, a portal in the entrance area. I measured the interflow, and it seemed that these obelisks are some kind of nodes where a form of energy unknown converges. My measurements also indicate there seems to be a malfunction of some sort. My instruments say that the energy is draining away somewhere, and it doesn't seem to be the way it should be. By the way, I've updated the console here right away. The Xerox were kind enough to upload the current buildings register. Good. At least I don't have to look up the important places myself then. I don't hear the voice anymore, by the way. I don't know if that's a good sign. 5 of 16. So let's, so the problem here is I don't have a ship. I don't know if that's a bad guy or not. Obelisk looks the same. Let's grab this portable scanner. We have a convoy. You gonna attack? I don't think so. Like, I swear these Oviraptors are not aggressive. He looks aggressive, though. How you doing? Let's see here. It's chilly. Seems to be the same. Hey. I've been observing the local obelisk for the last few days. We have placed network consoles on all 4 obelisks at the camps near the font of knowledge of each moon, not to miss any relevant data. I'm pretty sure now. What we have here is a system that extends over all the moons of the gas giant. It generates a form of energy field. In the moments when the system is stable, the obelisks charge with it and releases it in pulses. This then sometimes leads to a failure of communication in the vicinity of the obelisk. I'm afraid that if the charge becomes stronger, it might become a problem for other equipment. 6 of 16. Negative 22 degrees, boys. Oh, hey, buddy. I don't seem to have a shotgun on me. See you later. So if you started on this planet, this is your safe haven. Looks super cartoony with that black outline there. Got some stuff. See, we're already 49 of 600. But the temperature's fine in here. And then we got a new planet to explore, or moon. So what I was trying to say earlier is the reason I don't want to just come here and hang out is I have no storage or real means of transportation. So we're going to head back to the obelisk after collecting 2 more data pads. And head back up. So different than last time, I have the jetpack turned on, which makes it a little bit easier, and then you tend to fall off the side there. So just to show, this one I believe is Akua. This will take us back where we were. Back on Akua. Oops. So just for shits and giggles, I'm going to throw all this stuff into my ship. And then now we're going to go back up and go to the next planet. Moon. It's really easy to get into a habit of skipping one of those blocks with the jetpack, and then you jump over the side. It's super annoying. So we went there. This is our home. Let's try skilling. I have oxygen. Skilling's arid. There's no breathable oxygen. Well, I guess technically there's not sufficient oxygen to breathe. I have discovered a new obelisk. It's turning off my jetpack whenever I come here. I assume that it's on before I drop. Looks like this is the same system. We'll go ahead and read this. The days are getting more uncomfortable. The tone here is getting noticeably rougher. The war is coming closer. The commandant's office has assigned me a personal guard named Kel Haizani, one of the Krogam elite soldiers. I'm not sure what that's about. He is to accompany me as soon as I leave the camp. I don't mind. The guy's at least pleasant. Apparently, he's already served with General Garin in the High Guard. Well, I could have been there, too, if I hadn't been pelted with misgivings. Concerns about what a Talon and foster daughter of the Xerox general will do in the High Guard. So what? 7 is 16. So we have, why does my jetpack keep turning off? It's 113 degrees outside and 5 rads of radiation. This is the obelisk on Skillin. This would be the general place that you would be directed to if you started on Skillin. And then I would make a quick work base out of this thing. Let's play this one. The obelisks are suddenly showing strange fluctuations in their energy consumption levels. Sometimes they simply fail and go dark, as if they had swallowed too much. We've checked the energy flow and finally found a trace. Some of the artifacts, we call them activators, seem to be out of sync on some planets. They seem to work like rectifiers. We've been able to stabilize them and the fluctuations have been minimized. But how long will that last? I don't know. Haizani also tried the font of knowledge. He said he had to accompany me anyway and that he had to know what it was all about. I'll make scientist out of him yet. 8 of 16. Halfway there, boys. This is system error. There's another. Definitely take that. bit of rad stuff. And if you go what I assume is probably that away, let's go ahead and ping, would be the crash site, or the crash site if you started on this moon. And there's going to be a bunch of raw ingredients to make rad medication. Anticipating your need. Those are the new flyers. Head back to the obelisk as it's effing hot. And instead of going back to Akua, we've been to Ninguez. We started on Akua and we're on Skillin. Let's just go directly over to, what's the name of this? That should show all of that time. Massbron. Joat had discovered a new POI, the obelisk. So this completes our routine of going to all 4 moons. And my jetpack is turned off. That's crazy. I've just never noticed that. Every time you teleport, it seems to turn it off. Let's read this one. What a bummer. We were stuck here for 10 days. All of the technology was down after a strong energy spike coming from the local obelisk. I thought we stabilized the system. Apparently not. Hazani and I had a lot of time to talk about the war, the military, our parents' career aspirations for us. He also paid me something of a compliment. I think he was a little embarrassed by my speechlessness. Fortunately, we quickly found some distraction in the network console's memory buffer. The record indicates that we might have missed something important in this planet circuit setup made by the progenitor. Now we just have to find what it is. Close 9 of 16. We're getting closer, boys. This of the moons is the one I probably spent the least amount of time on. Crashed cockpit. Where is said crashed cockpit? Oh, there it is. 100 meters away. Come on, boys. 80 degrees, breathable atmosphere. And here's a crashed cockpit. Hey, they got oxygen. Oh, I can't take it. That's all right. I'll bet if I corded, I could. I've never been to this. Huh. Well, those are some grow plots. Same message. Play that back. After the system was back online, we checked all the ruins of the moons to see if there were any other artifacts linked to the obelisk. We didn't find anything, but learned that there seemed to be a lot of creatures we hadn't cataloged yet. The drones on the planets were supposed to keep most of the most dangerous of them at bay, but there's interference with their controls from the energy spikes increasingly emanating from the obelisk. At least I was lucky, but if Haizani hadn't been there, I'd be history by now. The Krogum were there too late, but at least they smoked out some of the nests of these nasty creatures. Clues. Cute little bed. Take that. Ventilator. Little safe hub. Got some damage to it. Safe hub, safe spot. So where's our obelisk at? Resource. There she is. I'm just now remembering that I forgot to pick up my bike on Akua. Well, that looks pretty cool. Are they trees or smoke trails? They are unpopulated trees. We'll find out shortly. Back up to the top. And we're going to Akua. All right, so we're back on Akua. Sit down. My jetpack's turned off. I've never noticed that. So I think what I'm going to do with this episode is just do some exploring. So let's turn on our thrusters. Let's go to the space. There's our scientist camp. There's the supply bunker. Let's give a ping. See what we got out here. I think I'll be more comfortable in first person. So there's Skillin. Let's go head over there. So I'm just pointing towards it in full thrust. And I can hit I to turn off inertia. Maintain, just like space travel is. Just keep on keeping on. So now I can actually change direction, but the inertia is going to continue to carry me in the original direction, which is kind of cool. Commander, I'm tracking a weak communication signal coming from Omicron, the arid planet in the solar system. Yeah, it's directing me to go to the asteroid belt, where she's going to want me to go. And there's Ningas, and there's Masperon. Akua, and here is Skillin. Oh, so I'll probably pick you guys back up on. Oh wait, attention! Unknown signatures have been detected in this orbital sector between the 4 moons. Use your ship detector to find them in the midst of the asteroid field. So it's picking this asteroid field up. We'll get there. I think we're just going to do some scouting on Skillin. I'll pick you guys up whenever I break atmosphere. Well, I guess a little bit before we break atmosphere. I still have inertia turned off. Don't forget to turn it back on, or you will fall to the planet. I'm going to turn on my thrusters, and keep going. This can be a little bit weird or even intimidating. You've got plenty of time. I'm full speed, and now I'm in atmosphere. So I can scroll up. See, if I turn off inertia here, I'll just start falling. So bottom right, you can see that I'm applying force in all 4 directions. Once I'm in atmosphere, if I hit it one time, I'm only applying force down, so it'll maintain that direction. If I turn it off again, I'll just start falling. So let's hit our scanner. Grab the map, and we're just gonna go this way. Okay, so here's our obelisk and the opportunity, which is your kind of first general base. Oh, I wonder what that is. We'll see. So I have uncovered everything on the planet. There are neodymium deposits and promethium deposits. There are very little carbon, silicon, and copper resources on this planet. There are no actual deposits, right? We have a carbon, promethium, and neo. I've marked a couple of things as pirate crash vessel and an abandoned vessel yard. I think there's another legitimate POI on here that I may have forgotten to mark, but I know that I've Crash capital vessels are good if you're looking for resources. They've got all sorts of stuff on them. Engines, etc. that can be dropped into the factory. These refuse piles are kind of neat. If you're starting on this planet, they got a couple of basic resources on them. The collection points you can actually run through and run. Let's see what's going on here. What the crap? I don't know if he's a bad guy or not. Are these things here? What are they? Same thing, right? Yeah. What happens? His altitude's all jacked. Let's see what happens. I don't think he's going to attack, but weirder things have happened. I don't intend on killing him. I wouldn't mind a little bit of pentaxin. That's just a... He's got a bad hover engine. Alright, I think we're calling that skillin'. I'm gonna edit this down pretty well, but we're gonna... There's a Kua. We don't want to go there. Let's go to Ningas. Oh wait, that one looks a little closer. It is a little closer. Aspiron. Alright, we'll see you once we get to Mass. Incoming to Aspiron. I did not turn off my inertial. Well, I didn't turn on my inertia, so I'm falling. And I turned that back on and the ship stabilizes. Well, boys, this is going to be a effed up episode, but I seem to be good at those. So we're heading back into space from Aspiron. What I've done off camera is I've been to, well, I haven't been to Ningas. Went to Aspiron, explored it all, marked that abandoned drone base. Went to Skillin and explored it all, and went to, well, we have already explored Akua. So now we're going to do the same thing with Ningas, and hopefully do so without crashing the game. My intention is to explore the 4 moons, get the easily accessible data pads, pick a couple of POIs, and in the next episode, we'll start running what I deem are the significant POIs on the 4 moons. We will attempt to get all 16 of 16 data pads. I think we're at like 12. I don't remember. But as you can see, once you have a vessel, taking that vessel from moon to moon to run a POI or gather resources, whatever you need, is pretty easy. My intention is to, in the game, explore all 4 moons, head back to Akua, and then establish kind of a plan of action for POIs that we should hit. Collect the 16 data pads, head out to the asteroid belt, and kind of finish the mission up, and then head over to Omicron. So let's see, we're about 10 kilometers outside of Ningas. Alright, well, we're coming into Ningas. I think once I get in to the atmosphere, I'm going to be super slow and let everything populate. And then explore this, mark it, and I'll see you when I'm headed out of Ningas maybe, or back at Akua. Alright. It's important to note that the POIs that I've marked back on Akua, like the supply bunker and the scientist camp, the abandoned workshop on Skillin, and then that abandoned drone base on Aspiron, they're going to stay in my HUD. So I did that for ease of this video. It'll be convenient if we go back to those moons and delete those markers before moving out of this system. we are already back at the obelisk from earlier in the episode. This is where we ported in. This is the convoy in that little safe room that you would have been directed to had you spawned on this moon. You could probably find the biome that you would have actually spawned in. But maybe not. It'll be around here. They would have sent you over directly to that obelisk and safe spot as soon as you spawned it, just like it happened on Akua. But each of these moons have kind of different starting atmospheres and starting resources. This one seems to have a ton of cobalt resources. Let's get all these. Askillen seems to have neodymium. Akua has the beginning iron, copper, silicon. They all have carbon. Asperon has titanium in abundance. And you don't have to mine. I've mentioned this before. I honestly kind of like the mining. But you will be keyed into resources that you're short of, where you're going to have to get specific resources. If you go the route of stripping down POIs for their resources, you get a lot of ancillary resources when you break those things down into the factory. You're going to get some rare resources like restrium and things that are hard to find in general that are going to populate because they were subcomponents of engines, or I'm pretty certain you can get a restrium from if you take apart, deconstruct multi-tools. But finding restroom deposits is not something you're typically going to do in the beginning system. Well, that's pretty much all of this explored. I don't know, I'm not familiar with this mineral synth lab, but I marked it. And I also have a Theta Labs down here, 2 pretty good POIs. I'm going to head back to Akua, reorganize, and probably call this an episode, boys. We'll just call it Starter Moon Area Exploration and stuff. While this may be a simple or even not very good YouTube video or episode, or however you want to define it, it has been, well, an interesting experience for me. I have had 3 complete crashes, 2 of which got me out of my ship. I had to go find them. I actually started this episode 2 weeks ago. I've had a couple of quasi rage quits and what the crap, but here we are. This game typically has been very stable, but it has not been for me in this episode. And it might have something to do with recording and my computer and OBS running. I don't know. I don't have the experience for it, but it's been a thing. So it's been a fun episode. I'll catch you guys back at our little base. Well, this puts us back home. Home for now. Let's come in here and land. I just need to get rid of those trees. I feel like I run into them, or they get in the way every time. Standard practice, hit the P button, turn off my thrusters to save some fuel. The reason I wouldn't necessarily turn off the whole ship is I want to keep power running on that fridge so I don't lose any product. Boys, we're going to call this an episode. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever you've got. I'd be entertained by some comments. So tell me what I'm doing good, better, and different. Or if they're just too boring. I can't decide if I should skip more mundane stuff or show it or just move on to POIs. By the way, that's what we'll be doing in the next episode. We're going to get a list and try and hit quite a few of those POIs abandoned workshop, abandoned vessel yard, abandoned drone base, mineral synth lab, theta labs. Feel like I'm missing some. I don't know. All right, well, we'll see you around.